A 9-year-old girl stands on the biggest stage in the world. The lights are blinding, the crowd is a roaring sea of faces, and millions are watching at home. But for this little girl, that's not the scariest thing she's ever faced. Not even close. Because just a few years earlier, she was fighting for her life in a medically induced coma. That little girl was Angelica Hale, and her story is one of the most incredible journeys in modern entertainment. But just surviving was only the beginning. Today, the internet is buzzing with wild claims about her wealth. Some reports peg her net worth at a cool $500,000. Others throw around staggering figures as high as $3 million. So what's the real story? How does a kid, who didn't even win the grand prize, build a financial empire before most people get their first job? The answer is a fascinating mix of different income streams, smart business moves, and a brand built not just on talent, but on a story of unbelievable resilience. This isn't just about counting cash. It's about understanding how a second chance at life was turned into a fortune. To really get it, we need to rewind to the moment it all almost ended. Before the golden buzzers and the stadium shows, there was a hospital room. At just 4 years old, Angelica Hale's life took a terrifying turn. She contracted severe bacterial pneumonia, which quickly spiraled into septic shock and catastrophic organ failure. Her kidneys were destroyed. For her parents, James and Eva Hale, it was every parent's worst nightmare as they watched their daughter be placed into a medically induced coma at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. She spent 80 agonizing days in the hospital, 12 of them on a last-ditch life support machine. When she was finally released on April 24, 2012, the battle was far from over. With her kidneys gone, she spent the next year and a half enduring the harsh reality of dialysis. The family was desperate for a donor, and the answer was found where it so often is, in a mother's love. Eva Hale was a match. On September 13, 2013, she gave her daughter one of her own kidneys, a literal gift of life that would become the foundation of Angelica's entire story. It was after everything she'd been through that singing became more than just a hobby. Soon after the transplant, Angelica started taking lessons with vocal coach Tara Simon. It was a way to reclaim her body, to strengthen her lungs, one of which has permanent scarring, and to process the incredible journey she had just survived. Her talent was undeniable. She quickly won a local kids' singing competition and started performing at charity events for organizations like Children's Miracle Network hospitals. These early gigs weren't about chasing fame. They were about giving back. But it was obvious to everyone who heard her that this voice was meant for a much, much bigger stage, deciding to audition for America's Got Talent. In 2017 was a huge leap of faith. For Angelica and her family, it wasn't just about trying to become a star. It was a defiant celebration of the life they had fought so hard to save. When 9-year-old Angelica walked out on that stage, the audience just saw a small girl with a big smile. They had no idea they were looking at a medical miracle who was about to set the world on fire. The first notes of Andra Day's Rise Up filled the auditorium, and you could feel the room change. This wasn't just a good performance, it was raw, powerful, and full of emotion. But it was her next one, a jaw-dropping take on Alicia Keys' Girl on Fire, that changed everything. Guest judge Chris Hardwick was so moved, he did what every contestant dreams of. He slammed the golden buzzer. In that one moment, Angelica Hale went from contestant to full-blown phenomenon. The golden buzzer on AGT is more than a ticket to the live shows. It's a viral marketing machine. It guarantees a moment that explodes across social media and news headlines. For Angelica, it was the official launch of her global brand. She soared through the competition with knockout performances of hits like Clarity and Without You. In the finals, she sang Symphony and became the youngest runner-up in the show's history, coming in second to ventriloquist Darcy Lynn. Now this is where the money part gets really interesting. She lost. She didn't get the $1 million prize. And according to the show's own disclaimer, that prize isn't a lump sum of cash anyway. It's paid out over 40 years, which is about $25,000 a year before taxes. A winner can choose a lump sum, but Forbes estimates that's only around $300,000. The losing contestants? They officially get nothing. So, did coming in second hurt her wallet? It's very likely it did the exact opposite. Winning often means signing a restrictive contract with the show. By becoming the runner-up, Angelica got almost all the same exposure as the winner, but with way more freedom. She was now a household name with a massive social media following, free to negotiate her own deals and build her career on her own. Right after AGT, things went wild. She performed for 7,000 people in New York, sang at an Atlanta Falcons NFL game, and hit the stage for the Pittsburgh Steelers. She was in the 2017 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and co-headlined the AGT live shows in Las Vegas. Each of these appearances wasn't just for fun. They came with hefty performance fees. While AGT itself doesn't pay, the fame it provides unlocks the door to a world of paid gigs. The show was the spark, but Angelica was now in full control of the financial fire. So that brings us back to the big question. How did Angelica Hale build a net worth that online estimators place anywhere from $444,000 to an eye-popping $3 million? The answer is a masterclass in diversification, turning that AGT fame into a business. Let's break down where the money is actually coming from. First up, you've got the YouTube goldmine. Angelica's channel is a beast. With nearly 3 million subscribers and hundreds of millions of total video views, her channel is a steady moneymaker. The main driver is Google AdSense, which places ads on her videos. Revenue is measured in CPM, or what advertisers pay per 1,000 views. While those rates can swing wildly, some reports suggest her YouTube income could be anywhere from $50,000 to over $180,000 a year. Her strategy is smart. A mix of high-production music videos, covers of popular songs, and personal vlogs. This keeps her fans engaged while attracting new viewers through the YouTube algorithm. With over 360 million views and counting, that ad revenue provides a solid financial foundation. Next are the classic income streams for a musician: music sales and live shows. Angelica didn't just sing covers, she started releasing her own music like Feel the Magic. While streams on Spotify and Apple Music bring in a steady, though likely modest income, the real money is in live performances. Post-AGT, Angelica became a go-to for major events. She's performed at NFL games, Celebrity Fight Night, and the prestigious PBS special, A Capital Fourth. These aren't small-time gigs. High-profile corporate events and national specials command serious appearance fees, which industry insiders estimate could bring in $50,000 to $100,000 a year. But she didn't just stop at music. She strategically moved into acting. She made her film debut in American Reject alongside Billy Ray Cyrus and lent her voice to animated shows like Disney Junior's TOTS and Chuggington. Then, her career took a huge leap forward when she landed the principal role of Trisha in the pre-Broadway run of Boop the Musical in Chicago. Getting a lead role in a show with Broadway ambitions is a massive step, adding a powerful credential to her resume and boosting her earning potential significantly. Beyond the stage, Angelica uses her huge social media presence for brand deals. With millions of followers, she's a great partner for companies. But she seems to be very selective, choosing brands that fit her personal story. She's promoted vocal lessons, which makes perfect sense. But her most important partnerships are about advocacy. She's the first ever child ambassador for the National Kidney Foundation and a spokesperson for the Sepsis Alliance. While these roles aren't just about a paycheck, they reinforce her brand's authenticity and make her even more attractive to family-friendly corporations. Finally, like any modern star, she has her own merch. Her online store sells branded clothing and accessories, allowing her to turn fan loyalty directly into profit. When you add it all up, YouTube, live gigs, acting, brand deals, and merch, the conflicting net worth figures start to make a little more sense. It's not one single jackpot. It's a carefully built portfolio, piece by piece, by a teenager with the mind of a CEO. Before we get to the really fascinating part, how a young star with this kind of income actually lives her life, do me a quick favor. If you're finding this deep dive as interesting as I do, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We investigate the real numbers behind your favorite stars every single week, and you don't want to miss what we have coming. Your support helps us keep making these videos. So what does a teenage star with access to this kind of income actually do with all that cash? If you're picturing wild shopping sprees in a Hollywood mansion, think again. One of the most remarkable things about Angelica's financial story is how normal it seems. There are no reports of her making crazy, extravagant purchases. Her public image is all about positivity and creativity, not flaunting wealth. Instead of spending on flashy luxuries, her money seems to go right back into her career. A seriously smart long-term strategy. That means paying for high-quality production for her music videos, top-tier vocal coaching, and the travel costs that come with being a working performer. These aren't just expenses, they're investments in her own brand. Her social media gives us a peek into a life that's a mix of professional work and typical teenage fun, like a shopping trip to Paxson and Brandy Melville in New York City. It feels grounded and relatable. But the biggest piece of Angelica's brand, and her financial priorities, is her deep commitment to charity. This isn't just some PR move, it's woven into the fabric of her identity. Her life was saved by an organ transplant, and she has turned that experience into a powerful platform. In 2017, she became the first ever kid ambassador for the National Kidney Foundation. She actively campaigns to encourage living organ donation, and has even gone to Capitol Hill to meet with lawmakers and push for laws to protect living donors. And it doesn't stop there. In 2018, she was named a national spokesperson for the Sepsis Alliance, using her own terrifying experience to teach the public how to recognize the symptoms. She's lent her voice and story to countless TV commercials and PSAs for these causes. This work does more than just good for the world. It gives her a purpose beyond entertainment. It gives her an authenticity that can't be faked and makes her a role model. This halo effect makes her an incredibly safe and valuable partner for brands, opening doors to even more meaningful opportunities down the road. Her wealth isn't just being saved, it's being used to make a real impact. So, how rich is Angelica Hale? The celebrity net worth sites that estimate her fortune somewhere between $700,000 and $1.1 million are likely doing a rough calculation of her earnings, minus all the costs of running a career. The higher-end estimates of up to $3 million might be trying to guess the total value of her brand and future potential. The truth is, the exact number is probably somewhere in that wide range, but it's all just speculation. But if you only measure her story in dollars, you're missing the whole point. Her journey began in a hospital bed, where the odds were completely stacked against her. She received the ultimate investment, a second chance at life thanks to her mom. From that moment, she has built a career, piece by piece, with the grit of a survivor. She's a YouTuber, a recording artist, an actress, and an advocate. Perhaps more importantly, she's building a legacy. She uses her powerful voice not just to entertain, but to fight for people who are sick and waiting for a miracle, just like the one she got. Angelica Hale's true wealth isn't just in her bank account. It's measured in the millions she's inspired and the impact she's made. Her story is a powerful reminder of the richness of a life lived with purpose, gratitude, and the relentless will to turn a second chance into something that lasts.